In this video, we're going to show you everything you need to know in order to properly set up and connect the Electro-Voice RE20 Dynamic Microphone with the Rode Rodecaster Pro 2 audio mixer. This is my favorite setup out of all the videos that we make. The EV RE20 is my favorite microphone that I choose to use on a daily basis. And if you're doing something like podcasting, the Rode Rodecaster Pro 2 is by far the best, easiest, most intuitive, and most powerful audio mixer out there. This is an awesome combination. Now let's show you how to set everything up. First of all, if you are looking for pricing or specs for anything that you see in this video, we have links down in the description below for the microphones, the cables, all the accessories that we talk about to get the best sound possible from a variety of online retailers to make sure that you are getting the best price possible. Now, logistically in this video here, you are listening to the Rode NT1 right now. We have not yet connected the EV RE20. So there's a picture up in the top corner of the NT1. Once it switches over to the EV RE20, that picture will change just so you know what you're listening to at any given time. Next, when you buy the EV RE20, you get the mic clip, you get the mic, and you get a soft case for it. That's it. So first of all, we need some type of a stand. I have a ton of different videos on this, but really it comes down to two different options. You can get an inexpensive table stand. They're small, they're compact. The downside of these is that they do let some taps come through the table into the microphone. And the other downside is that they do take up some table space. If you want to upgrade based on that, then something like the Rode PSA 1 Plus is the awesome boom arm for you. It has sound dampening. You don't need tools. It stays exactly where you leave it every single time. It is by far my favorite microphone stand to use. It's not the most expensive stand on the market, but it is the most comfortable to use on a daily basis. So we just screw this mic clip into the boom arm here, get it all tightened up. The one thing with the EV RE20 when you're using it with the boom arm is because the center of gravity is so forward, the mic clip's not in the middle of the microphone, you do need to spend just a second here just to get it nice and tight on the stand before you try dial it in. Here's what I'm talking about with the Rode PSA 1. No matter where you leave it or where you need it, it will hold that microphone for you, which is awesome. Okay, next we need some type of XLR cable. We like using these Canary XLR cables. You can see here that it has a male and female connector there. It has gold pins on the inside. It has black Neutrik connectors, super high quality connectors. You can get them in a variety of colors. They're nice and flexible. They're not too stiff like the Mogamis are. But inside they still have that star quad design, which is really recommended for a studio environment if you're running cable close to mixers or computers or speakers or any of that electromagnetic or electrostatic interference. Star quad design is the way to go for cables for sure. Next, we can connect the XLR cable to the back of the EV RE20. Another nice thing about the Rode PSA 1 is it has this really convenient cable management system that's built in really fast. You can see it just takes a couple seconds to make it look nice. Next, let's connect the XLR cable to the back of the audio mixer. I'm going to show you the back here. We just plug this into input 1. And input 4 is where I have the Rode NT1 that you've been listening to. Again, you can see the benefit here of running colored cables around your studio, help you keep track of where you're running everything and how it's set up. Okay, before we mess around with the settings on the Rodecaster Pro 2, we need to quickly talk about mic placement. If you have bad mic placement, there's nothing that you can do inside the Rodecaster Pro 2 to make this microphone sound good. I like to have it within a fist of my mouth, just slightly off axis, and just slightly pointed up from the bottom. It doesn't much make a difference acoustically if it's on the side like this or if it's pointed down like this. But for me, I find that this is the most comfortable position. It frees up my hand space. I can move my hands without being obstructed, and I can see the camera here without having a microphone right in front of my face as well. You also, just as a general rule, don't want to be speaking directly into the microphone. The breath coming out of your mouth can cause all kinds of sound quality issues, implosives and pops and that type of thing. The EV RE20 is quite resilient against those types of things. I don't think you need any type of pop filter or foam windscreen or anything like that. If you just have the microphone off to the side like I have it here, this is a really comfortable position to use this microphone. Okay, so let's go into the Rode Rodecaster Pro 2 settings here. By default, it's going to put it on a dynamic setting. Now, dynamic microphone, the EV-RE20 is a dynamic microphone, so that's a good starting point. But Rode actually did us a favor here. They made a bunch of custom tailored settings for the EV-RE20. So let's keep scrolling and select the EV-RE20. I'm going to put my headphones on now so I can hear what I'm doing. I'm going to turn up the EV-RE20 and turn down the Rode Pod mic. We're all done with that now. For the rest of the video, you're going to be listening to the EV-RE20 here. First of all, let's start with the level. You can see that Rode gave us this kind of green bar in the middle there. I would call that the sweet spot. That's where you want to be aiming when you're speaking. For me personally, I like cheating it towards the bottom end of that. So when I'm speaking comfortably, I'm near the bottom third of that. I am just a little bit low for my preference. So I'm just going to go up 1 dB to 52. And that's pretty much bang on where I want it. You don't need P48. You don't need phantom power. It will not help. It will not hurt this microphone. It is a balanced dynamic microphone. It will be invisible to it, but as best practice, there is a 1 in a million shot that something could go wrong if you power a dynamic microphone, so just leave that off. Now, so far in the processing side, the post-processing has been turned on by default, so I'm going to turn that off now. So here you can hear how the EV-RE20 sounds with the Rode Rodecaster Pro 2 with no post-processing whatsoever. I'm going to turn that back on. Next, I'm going to go into the preset menu here. I'm going to show you all 3 presets that are built into the Rode Rodecaster Pro 2. First of all, we have neutral. This is less compression, less EQ. It's dialed back quite a bit. If you go into the settings to see what it's actually doing, the de-esser and the noise gate, everything is much more conservative than if it was on that initial default state. Then we have Podcast Studio. I like this one. It does sound quite a bit lively, so depending on the person, you may or may not like it. And I find Broadcast is just a little bit more compressed and a little bit warmer. It's less lively, a little bit more dry. I like this one as well, but I'm going to go back to Podcast Studio. I find Podcast Studio to be the most down the middle, I think acceptable by the greatest range of people and their preferences. So that's a setting I like to use. Next, I want to talk about the settings that are built into the back of the EV-RE20. As a general rule, I'm not a really big fan of using on-mic settings. I always prefer to leave it in the flat position. You get so much more control by using the presets built in the Rode Rodecaster Pro 2 than anything on this high-pass filter switch that's in the back of the EV-RE20. As a general rule, I like my mics flat and I do everything either on a mixer or on the computer in post. If that's your rule, it's the easiest to get used to. That being said, I'm just going to quickly flip the switch here just so you can hear the difference that high-pass filter makes. So this is what it sounds like with the EV-RE20 with the high-pass filter, also known as a low cut, switched into the on position on the back of the microphone. I'm going to turn it off again now. Now you could hear it there. It was quite a bit. It rolled a bunch of those lower frequencies off. Not my favorite. I think I'd rather do the post-processing in the mixer itself. Aside from that, with this winning combination, this is my favorite combination to use. You just really need a set of headphones. I like the Beyerdynamic DT990 Pros. They're lightweight, they're clean, they're articulate. They are open back. They do have a closed back version, the DT770 Pro. I think either one of these are really good. My only knock on the closed back ones are they're quite a bit heavier and they do get hot after a long period of time like any other closed back headphone, where these ones just feel airy and weightless. You don't even notice them after a while, so they're super comfortable. If you have any questions about anything that we said in this video, please leave a comment down in the comment section below. Again, if you are looking for pricing or specs for anything that you see here, we have links down in the description below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.